beg the pardon of the concerned officials and start my paper. Title of my paper is Shakespeare and Postmodernism. Shakespeare need not be abandoned by the postmodern world. Indeed, the postmodern world does and continues to embrace his works wholeheartedly. Hugh Grady rightly observes, we are now witnessing the emergence of a postmodernist Shakespeare through the development of critical paradigms which incorporate aspects of contemporary postmodernist aesthetics. Though his plays in chaste form do not always agree with postmodern ideologies, they prove conducive to a myriad of discussions relevant to the postmodern era. Under postmodernism, Shakespeare undergoes theorizing, deconstruction, textual criticism, political and cultural criticism, and clarifies hitherto undiscovered features which are unraveled by the postmodernist interpretations of Shakespeare's plays. When approached in a historical manner, aesthetics provide mediation between Renaissance and the age of postmodernity, that is not a dismissal of history, but a representation or a reinterpretation of history. Many social issues of Shakespeare's plays are still the burning issues in today's dysfunctional global society. Shakespeare's plays teach us much about the current postmodern culture and reveal the struggle of the British people both in the early 1600s and in the late 19th with sexism, capitalism, and racism. The postmodernists explore the interrelationship between Shakespeare and the 20th contemporary culture by discovering postmodernist themes, tendencies, and attitudes within his literary works. The issues of race constitute one of the most important themes in postmodern literature, which figure prominently in Shakespeare's plays like Othello, The Tempest, Merchant of Venice, and Titus Andronicus. In both Othello and Merchant of Venice, there are several instances in which the non-whites and non-Christian characters are marginalized and rendered victims of outright racism. The racism-laden description of Othello as the Moor, the thick lips, and old black ram, a Barbary horse, associate him with something less than human. In Merchant of Venice, Shylock is termed as a misbeliever, cutthroat hound, and Antonio has even dared to spit upon Jewish gabardine. Though Shakespeare inherited an environment of racial tensions and uses racial stereotypes in his plays, he often challenges racial attitudes. Though Moors were regarded as savage and barbarous, he has presented Othello as mild-mannered and exceptionally civilized as a general and aristocrat. Similarly, in Merchant of Venice, though Shylock's moving speech hath not a Jew eyes, hath not a Jew hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you poison us, do we not die? He seems to be emphasizing his humanity and sameness and for sympathy and understanding. Shakespeare does not attempt to form the idea that the white characters are any better than those who are subject to discrimination. Shakespeare has often been called sexist, though feminism, as we refer to it today, was not a concept present in Shakespeare's times. Resemblance of feminist concerns can be found in his plays. Issues like patriarchy, gender, and sex role appear again and again in his play. Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew is regarded as a sexist play. Much controversy centered around Petruchio's actions and intentions of breaking king's spirit like one would break a horse, and she is tamed. But many of Shakespeare's women characters like Cleopatra, Portia, Desdemona, and Lady Macbeth are portrayed as very strong and independent women. Even Kate, as Toril and Moe observes, refuses to be selfless acts on her own initiative and rejects the submissive role patriarchy has reserved for her. In many ways, she is a very modern woman, perhaps one of the first women's liberals. Shakespeare's lifetime coincided with the consolidation of modern capitalism, and his plays reveal his interest in economic and the economics of time. His Roman history plays suggest that economic and political systems are not everlasting, but only stages in the development of history. Description of the decline of feudalism and the fall of Roman civilization is, if late capitalism be succeeded by social barbarism, by a new renaissance or a new dark age. His plays also offer a critique of the new capitalism by showing the extent to which it can be applied to time. In Henry IV, Hall acts as a kind of temporal financer, investing time according to sound economic principles in order to redeem it at a high rate of return. In All Is Well That Ends Well, Helena teaches the king that the value of time is qualitative rather than quantitative, thereby transcending capitalism's assumption that a small amount of time, even if joyful, cannot be more valuable than a longer time, even if of despair. Shakespeare's plays are replete with themes of male bonding, female friends, and homoeroticism, which constitute an important aspect of postmodern culture. Bonding between males is conspicuous by its absence in the writings of Renaissance because the structures of patriarchal society had an obligatory homosexuality built in the male-dominated kinship systems, but it is apparent that there exists a bond between Adam and Orlando in As You Like It. Orlando's eagerness to take Adam with him and Adam's stubbornness to join him hint the possibility of something between them that was hidden in the patriarchal structures of relationship. The convention of a cross-dressed heroine represented same-sex attraction in Shakespeare's times, and his plays abound in such type of characters. In As You Like It, Celia and Rosalind's friendship can be an example of the phenomenon of female friendships. Shannon observes the female friendship